everybody, and welcome to our Wealth Creation Inner Circle. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kara Lowe, and we're delighted to have you here all with us this evening. I see lots of familiar faces out there. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. So as your co-host this evening, I've got a little sneaky suspicion that by the end of it, you'll be really thanking whoever it was that invited you here to the meeting today, because over the last 4 weeks since I've been investigating, I have fallen in love with this opportunity, and I truly believe that it is the hottest thing in the market at the moment. My background, again, for those who don't know me, I've been in the corporate enterprise tech space for about the last 20 years, where in my last role, I was seeding and delivering what really can be classified as the first iterations of AI into the commercial and enterprise space here in Australia. So I guess I've been able to see firsthand from the ground up just how quickly AI is truly changing the game for all of us out there. And when you couple that with my love for investing, this just seemed like an absolute match made in heaven. So I can see Dale Lee here on the call. Hi, Dale. How are you? I just want to say thank you so much, because you were the one that introduced me to this opportunity 4 weeks ago when we were going through our breathwork certification training. And rather than focusing on the breathwork, we get off track a bit and talk about the markets and everything exciting that's happening out there. But, we got onto the conversation about compounding investment and DeFi opportunities and what I was doing. And, when I got to see this, I just fell in love. Like I said, I was able to get under the hood, take a look at the enterprise management team that were, backing Aurum and the investment that we're going to speak through tonight. And in the last 4 weeks, given that everybody knows about the power of compounding interest and just how much, banks have been using that to their advantage for the last few decades, most people I share this with have just really gravitated towards it. So in 4 weeks, I'm delighted to say I've got about 88 people under my business. So I know that if I can do it, anybody on this call can do it. And I've more than tripled my investment in terms of what I put into the platform initially. So for me, I definitely know that this business works. It's got momentum, and you're going to love what you're going to hear tonight. So thank you again for joining us. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Jeffrey Ross, the laptop lifestyle dad. He's been in the online business, affiliate marketing, and leadership space now since about 2009. He's a proven million-dollar business builder, coach, mentor, and attraction marketing specialist. He's also the Vice President and Field Development for Growth for Freedom Pro, which you'll learn a lot about if you join us on the journey here this evening. So, Jeff, I think, I'm as in love as I can get with this opportunity, as you can probably hear from my enthusiasm, but I'm sure the people just want to get to the detail and hear your journey and your story and how it can work for them too.
Kara, thank you very much, champion. It's been an absolute pleasure to be on this journey with you. And I just love this industry because it connects like minds, and we get to connect and questions and have conversations and build relationship and connection off the back of that. And I know that we're all excited because we've got a trip coming up to Miami very shortly. And, I'll talk a little bit that later towards the end of tonight's conversation. But let's get into it. Like, I don't want to be here and just hog the mic and be the vacuum and talk all about me, because it's not about me. This is about the opportunity. This is about the product itself. So what are we talking about? Well, we're all talking about this thing called Aurum. So let me just quickly bring up my keynote here for you, and let's just dive straight in. So welcome to Aurum, and I'm only going to focus really in on one product tonight. Aurum does have an ecosystem there with multiple products, but the product that we're all very excited about here is this AI trading bot. This is the wealth secret everybody's talking about here in the AI space. Kara mentioned something very, very important, where AI is disrupting the world. And I've talked to a lot of economists, I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs, I've talked to a lot of people in the thought leadership and the personal development world, and they all say one thing common. The world is in for a world of hurt, in a world of turmoil in the next 12 months to 2 years. AI is disrupting the world as we know it. There's a revolution happening. But inside of that turmoil, There is more opportunity than there ever has been before in any other time in history. So let's get into this and explore what we've got here on our hands and why some people might be calling this the unicorn of 2026. So before I dive in, though, I just want to quickly just cover our disclaimer here. This presentation is meant to share information. It's for education purposes only about our project, and all the information that we share here with you today is not taken as financial advice or a guarantee of results. Every investment carries risk. Your outcomes depend on your personal skills, the market understanding, and your risk tolerance. So when I first looked at this, just like Kara is, and you'll probably hear from Dale as well, the very first thing that got me excited about this was the CEO behind the captain. Now, I hadn't really heard of Brian Benson. I sort of knew of him, it was out there in the peripheral, but what I had heard of was Binance. Hey, drop a 1 in the comments if you've been in this space for a little while now, and you too have heard of Binance. It was a very quick unicorn industry in that space, in the DeFi and the blockchain space. And Brian Benson was the MD. He was one of the main guys to help to lead that captain of that ship. Brian Benson is the person responsible for opening up Latin America there with Binance to become where it is today. So when I started looking into this deeper and started exploring who Brian Benson was, I started doing my own due diligence. I started Googling the man himself, who is the CEO of this, Aurum, and you basically, the captain of the ship. And I started to get down this rabbit hole, and it started to tick all the boxes for me. The very first thing I noticed here is Mr. Brian Benson. He's recognized on the Forbes Financial Council. This is not something you can just go buy yourself on to be a ticket on. You have to be invited, and it's only the best of the best and the top of the top in the industry that'll even get invited into this conversation, into this roundtable council. Brian Benson, he's spoken all around the world for over a decade plus now on the blockchain and the DeFi space. He speaks in Singapore. He's been seen to speak in Dubai and Abu Dhabi on podcasts on this topic. He's even been talked to business roundtables here on what the future of money will look like in 2026 and 28. Now, I don't know if you recognize some of the names there, but you can see Mr. Brian Benson, the CEO of Aurum, up there on the stage with these 5 other notable speakers that are up here. So Google the other people here as well. You'll notice that there's something in common. They're all at the top of their game, and they're all well-respected leaders in this space. So what is Aurum, and what is this AI trading bot that we're talking about? I'm going to walk you through here tonight. Now, I'm not here to mince words and fluff time. I'm just going to get straight down to the brass tacks of the conversation. Drop a 1 in the comments for me if you're okay with that. So I know about this crypto space. Now, actually, Dale is probably the person that I would go to when I talk about anything in the crypto or the trading space, because he's my go-to guy. But when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to attraction marketing, when it comes to this space, I know my stuff. And one of the things I wanted to look at here in this crypto space was I wanted to help to create some stability in the conversation here. And that's what we've got here with this AI trading bot. This AI trading bot is taking emotion out of the equation. So it's not taking emotional responses or reaction. When the market goes down, we still win. When the market goes up, we still win, because it's an AI trading bot that is actually doing the trading for us. We trade on the major crypto markets on Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Tron, Aurum, USDT, and some of the other markets. Now, I know that at the moment, Bitcoin is on its way down, right? It just got down below 70K. Our bot is still trading for us, and we're still winning every day. Now, we have been trading for over 3 years. We've got a bit of a 3-year trading record. We've been going since the first quarter of 2023. But before I dive into all of that information, let's hear from the man himself about the vision that he has for Aurum and the parallels that he notices between Aurum and Binance. Here's Mr. Brian Benson.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people be turned into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company, is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield-bearing assets, through a lot, compounding interest through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally, is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. Yeah. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
As you heard from him, he thinks what we've had at Aurum here is very similar to what they had in Binance. And what we've got here at Aurum is giving us access to the power and the tools that mainly are just reserved for the wealthy and for the elites. And so they're unlocking this platform here for us. They're unlocking tools like compounding interest for us in this space with this AI trading bot. Albert Einstein quoted, right? He said, compounding interest is the 8th wonder of the world. And when you start to see the math and you start to see this play out in real life, you can start to see what he was talking about in that space. So welcome to Aurum. So how do you get started? Well, you're going to basically fund your bot with crypto, with USDT or USDC. Now, if you're new to this crypto game, that's okay. We've got you covered. We've got a beautiful community of 1,000+ people who have joined our team in the last month. And amongst that, we've got a lot of newbies in this space. And we've got these power hour calls that I talk about later as part of our team support and our structure. Well, but let's say you do know a little bit about Kraken and crypto and wallets and exchanges and all of that sort of stuff, right? You're going to load up your wallet here with $20 at the very least to get started, to pay for your subscription. Now, that will pay for your subscription to be able to get access to the technology, access to the bot and the marketing material and the community. And it's only $20 per year. There is a button where you can basically turn that on and set and forget it. And look, if you're here in 12 months and you're not making money and you're going to be worried about $20, I'm probably going to ask you to leave this call right now because it's probably not for you, right? So $20 will get you started. 20 USDT will start the subscription. Now, as I said, we've been trading since Q1 2023. So one of the very first things that I personally looked at was, who is the captain behind the ship? And I went down that rabbit hole. The next thing I wanted to know, is this got a proven track record? Or is this something that's just fresh off the shelf and away we go, right? So this has a trading record of 3 years history. It hasn't lost any month yet. And it's trading from anywhere from 10 to 17% compounding interest. Now, I don't know what they call them in America. I think it's called a CD. Here in Australia, we call it a term deposit. I don't know where you can get those sort of returns on your investment, 10 to 17%, anywhere in the bank. So we're now getting access to these wealth creation tools here in this space. And as you can see here, as November 1st, actually this number's higher now. It's up into the 70-odd plus million. This space here is actually now saying it's 56,144,000 has been in the trading pool since November 1st. Now, let's talk a 12-month strategy plan here with this whole conversation. Basically, you get in where you fit. Now, basically the plan that we're going to talk about here in this example is what we're going to call our family plan. And I'm going to talk about the strategy here in a second, where I go with a 3x3 strategy. But with our family plan, you're probably going to start your first position off on $1,000, and then you can have other multiple positions. So you can put a position for your mum, a position for your wife or your husband, and a position for your brother or your son or your daughter or whatever it is in between, right? So let's say you got $10,000. Well, you're going to jump in here and you're going to have some multiple positions going to be able to have the compounding effect work for you. And we're also going to talk about the compensation plan as part of our affiliate partner program here to be able to really maximize your results. But before I go there, let's just talk about $10,000 in on one bot. $10,000 is going to get you at that business level, or actually just a little bit over business. $10,000 will get you at that VIP level. At the VIP level, you're going to see an average return of 14.87% per month. Now, it's not always going to be that. It'll fluctuate up and down, but it'll be that on an average. Now, if you needed to, it's very important to note, if you needed to access that $10,000, you're going to basically stake that for 12 months. And in that 12-month period, if you needed to withdraw it sooner rather than later, within that 12 months, you can on the 1st, the 10th, and the 20th day of each month. You will, however, wear a early redemption fee of 35%. Right, so let's look at a couple of examples here. And this is just a quick one for $500 deposited and a 5-month example here from 17th of April to the 17th of September. You can see here on this $500 example, within 5 months, we're seeing a 76.4 return on our investment. Now, let's have a look at a $10,000 deposit. On April 10th here, and so April 10th, 2025 on this example, and then through to 16th of May, 2025. So let's call that 5 weeks. And within this 5 weeks, we're seeing a $2,360 return on this example. Let's go a little bit further. So in 5 weeks, we're seeing a 23% return. Within 10 weeks, we're seeing a 55% return. Okay, now go 12 weeks. You'll notice there the bot. It says hashtag B33419772. It's the same bot in this example every day. Now, on this example, we can see on the 10th of the 7th, 2025, that blue button now is blue. It's not grayed out. So on this example here, because it is the 10th day of the month, they could withdraw that $10,000 that they put in as the original principal, but they will wear that 35% early redemption fee. After 12 months, it's just a 1% withdrawal fee. But as you can see here, 12 weeks in, we've got 74%. In 16 weeks, we're seeing 103% return on our investment. We're now taking that 10,000 and turn it into 20,000. Not bad. Okay, so here, we've now got it really excited. We're now 12 months in. 12 months in, we're seeing that original 10,000 turn into $39,506. You can note the hashtag there, B3341972. 12 months in to the dates of what we've done with our original deposit. Now we can see where it's going here. We've now quadrupled the money basically in those 12 months. We've also gotten very excited here in this example with this account, and we've started multiple bots. You can have multiple bots under the per account. And we could also see there on that one, there's one of them that's got the reinvest button turned off, and the other 3 are turned on. So what we want to do here is you basically want to use the compounding interest effect by turning that reinvest button on. Now, you can withdraw the profits daily, multiple times a day if you choose, for a 1% withdrawal fee. Now, if you turn that on, basically what that's going to do is going to roll the profits back into the bot, and that's where we start to see that compounding interest effect here happening. Now, we're averaging around about 10 to 17%. The higher the deposit that you put in, the closer to that 17% you'll see on your return on the compounding per month. And on this one here, we've got one of them turned off because they're using that as their everyday spendings account to pay their, their monthly bills and whatnot in that space. And they're basically withdrawing, in this case, they've taken that $9,000 and they withdrew it and put it into their bank account to pay for their expenses. Now, we also do have an app that's launched with a neobank. I know Dale has played around with this, and a few other of our team have played around with this. We do have an Android app at the moment. We do have an Apple version coming very, very soon. And so that is basically the AI trading bot. There is a card. There are a lot of other products that are involved in the suite. But the one that's got us most excited is this AI trading bot, plus the opportunity that I'll share with you with our partner program towards the end of it in a second. We just had 4 of our amazing team come back from this event here in Dubai. They flew over to Dubai there in mid-January, got to meet Mr. Brian Benson himself at the Versace Hotel in Dubai. And, this was one of those events that was only really reserved for our elites. But because Josh Belts has a relationship with Brian Benson, and our team is breaking records straight out the gate in their first month, they invited a few of our team to go over. I was personally invited, but I had some health concerns that didn't allow me to go this time. And so there's an event coming up in Miami, which I'm very excited about, when I'll be with the team there in April. So let me talk to you about our partner program. Now, if you're not interested in our partner program, you just want to basically, make your money work harder and smarter for you, great. Go to work. We love you. We still want you to be a part of our community, and we want you to be able to get access to this amazing technology. You don't have to worry about this partner program. There's no extra cost. There's no extra subscriptions. There's no auto subscription every month to worry about to be a part of this. We just know that the marketing budget is better spent here in working with people like myself as affiliates for the company than it is then putting it onto Facebook ads or TV ads or anything like that. You know, Asia has actually recognized that influencer style marketing is actually more effective now than billboards or pay-per-click advertising. They're actually taking their money from there and shifting it over to influencer style marketing. So big companies are now starting to leverage these type of partner programs. Nike's got one, you know, in those spaces and whatnot. So I want you to, before I dive into this space, not to be misled by the incomes that are easily achieved. Your results will vary according to your time, effort, and your experience and your skills. However, we have a community where we're running with rising tides, raising all ships, and we're creating a culture of generosity with our time, talents, and treasures. Now, I know we could either go wide or we can go deep. When you look at this comp plan, the idea here is to go deep. So what we're doing is this 3x3 strategy. I mentioned that before. So let me bring that back around. Okay, you've got $10,000. What I would do is I would put $1,000 on the first position, and then I would go and create 3 other positions below that, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to help those 3 positions go get 3 people each, and then we go build 3x3 infinity deep. And as a team, we go do this together and we support each other and everybody wins. So to hit Voyager, you need $7,500 trading volume to hit the first rank and make sure you've got at least $100 on your personal bot there to hit the contribution. So you start off with $1,000 on your first one. You're going to put, maybe if you've got 10,000, you put 3,000 on Joe's position, 3,000 on Dave's position, and 3,000 on Sarah's position. There you go. There's your $10,000. You now have $9,000 trading under your first position. Congratulations. You've just hit Voyager. I've just given you the recipe to go hit Voyager within your first few hours of joining. Pretty cool, right? I hit Voyager in the first 2 days. So if you beat me personally, I'll actually give you $200 USDT out of my back pocket. I've been waiting for someone to beat it. Nobody's done it yet. I've been giving you the secrets. Anyway, we'll see who gets there and picks it up, mate. Now, let's say we've got going now. We've now got momentum. You know, you're now starting to get people excited about this. You're sharing it with your community. Now, to unlock the next rank, we need to have at least 2 Voyagers in our team. So we're going to have, this is why we need 3 teams building all the way down, because you need at least 3 legs building all the way down to go all the way to the top of the comp plan. Now, this is all jargon to you and it's all going over your head. Don't worry, we've got an amazing community here that can help answer your questions and support you on this journey. But now to hit Vanguard, you need to have at least 2 Voyagers, 1 in each leg, and you need to have at least $25,000 in trading volume below your original position. That's going to unlock 7% for your direct referrals and 7.5% for now for your team profits. As long as there's no rank that's sort of equal to you or above you, you will earn those team profits from every position below you. This is where it starts to get exciting. I'm now personally here at Oracle. I've only been in this 1 month, to the date. Actually, 1 month today I started. And so I've already hit Oracle just the other day. And so that means I've got $250,000 in trading volume below us in our team. I've got over 600 people who have joined our team because thanks to people like Leanne and Dale and Raph and the team that we're building together here in this space. It means I've got $3,000 personally contributed to the bot here. I've unlocked a $5,000 bonus. And now I'm seeing anywhere up to 15% team profit. The closer they are to my direct referral, I see the closer to the 15%, but even going down 12, 15, 20 generations down, I'm starting to see 2, 3, 1% of the deposits are coming in. This is where it starts to get very exciting, right? So Dale hit Nexus today. We're going to get Dale to come out and share. Huge congratulations to Dale. Absolutely amazing effort. Within his first 3 weeks, he hit Nexus. So I know that the person who introduced Josh, and then Josh introduced me, then I introduced Dale, and Dale's introduced Kara. You see where this goes? And this is where we start linking arms and running together. The person who introduced Josh only about a month ago, he just hit the Dominion rank. Now, he's only been in this 9 months, and he only personally introduced 12 people. Those 12 people went and introduced 12 people each, and then we started to have the compounding and multiply effect working for us. Now, in 9 months, he's now got a team of around 10,000 people below him, and he's now qualified for the Dominion rank. The bonuses that we see here are paid instantly into your wallet, and you can take them out of your wallet straight away with a 1% withdrawal fee. You're going to take them out. Let's say you're going to convert it to USDT and you're going to send it to your Kraken account, or whatever it is that you use to put it in your bank account. You can do that like this. And so I've seen it actually with my own eyes. Saw him actually do the withdrawal, $500,000 into his bank account. Thank you very much. Not only that, with the 25% team profit that he's eligible for here at this spot, he's now earning around about $10,000 a day from the residual income coming from the team build. I don't know about you. $10,000 a day, I think I could get very excited about that, and I could have a really big impact for the world. I could actually now start to give out of abundance and generosity, and my family could, thrive. But not only that, I could start to really play a bigger, better game to help heal the world and create a bigger impact on it. Not only that, when you start to get to these higher ranks, you can start to see this shareholder bonus. What that means is the company is taking a portion of the global pool and putting it into a pool for us to be able to give us at the end of each year, like a Christmas bonus. Please don't draw over the screen, guys. I know if you're on a mobile phone, you're trying to click on the screen and all that. Please stop. Yeah, no, draw on the screen. It's very distracting. You can see here, we're earning a share of the global pool. All right. So now, before I move on, there's one final thing that I need to mention before I bring in Dale here, and he can talk about his story and, hitting the Nexus rank. You'll see here the qualified level volume. Now, I didn't focus too much on it. I focused more on the total teams volume. Basically, for every $1,000 that goes into your team volume, 40% of that goes towards the qualified legacy volume here, and that is one of the requirements to rank. So the requirements to rank, you need to make sure you've got your qualified level volume. You've got to make sure you've got your ranks. So when you start to get prime and above, you need to have at least 3 legs growing for me to hit the next rank, right? So I'm actually on Oracle. I'm working towards Prime. I need to have 2 people. I need to have Dale. Dale's just hit Nexus, so I've qualified for that leg. I need to have Leanne hit Nexus next. So I've got 2 Nexuses, 1 in each leg. And then on my 3rd leg, I need to have a Vanguard Pro. Plus, I need to make sure I've got the qualifying, trading volume there and the personal contribution to unlock that next rank. Right, so pretty simple. You can explain that in the next 5 to 10 minutes with you. And it says down the bottom, you must have 3 separate legs to go all the way to the top of the comp plan. So there you go, guys. That's all I have for today's with the actual presentation. We are going to open it up for Q&A now. But before I do that, I actually want to bring up my friend Dale here. Let me do this one. Let me do this one. And I actually want to bring up my friend Dale. So I met Dale, actually in person in Thailand, Phuket of all places. We went to, on a dream trip together. We were able to, really connect and get to know each other. We went and did like the elephant experience where we got to wash the elephants. I've got some amazing photos of that, that whole experience. One of my fondest memories over the last 5 years, Dale. And it's an absolute pleasure. I knew that there'd be something that we would get to work together. And it's an absolute blessing that this is the thing with Aurum and this AI trading bot, mate. I just love the way that you've picked this up and you've got very excited about this and you started sharing it with your community. But for you to get excited, I put quite a few things in front of you over the last 3 years, and most of the things don't even tick the boxes. So my question for you, what is it about this that got you excited and why are you here today?
Thanks, Jeff. G'day, everyone. Yeah, absolutely. I'm blessed to know Jeff. I consider him a very close friend of mine. On that beside the pool in Thailand, we had some very deep and meaningfuls on how we could contribute and change the world, and all that sort of stuff. And I've been trading myself for quite some time, over 15 years. And I started in stocks and commodities, and foreign exchange is the main market that I trade. And I've taught people how to trade. I'm a coach now. I met Kara last year with in coaching with doing a quantum coaching certificate with Dr. Estlin, which I absolutely loved. So I'm really passionate about teaching people and helping people. I've taught a lot of people how to trade over the years. But I know it's not for everybody. It's not for the faint-hearted. You have to, like any skill, you have a lot of dedication and chart work and study and just watching and learning, and quite often takes years, and it's pretty volatile, and it's not for everybody. I get it. So I've got my own little wealth coaching program that I've been running for a few years now. And when I find something that I like and I do my due diligence, I share it with them. And I find most people want to have something that's passive and just ticking along without them having to look at the screens and stuff all the time. Now, I've been in a few different programs over the years, and like I said, I've been trading for a long time. These bots actually came out about 10 years ago, and I watched them when they first come out, and they do quite well in an uptrend, but then when the trend had changed, they wouldn't do well at all. Sometimes they blow up the whole account. So I steered clear of them for quite a while, and I was just waiting for the technology to catch up. And I knew it would. It's machine learning. So the machines are getting smarter and smarter and better, more consistent, learning from themselves. So when Jeff brought this to me, I had to look at it straight away. And that's the first thing. I look at every opportunity straight away. That's the first pro tip for you. You know, some people, you show them something and they go, oh, yeah, I'll get to that. And you follow up a week later and they, oh, no, I haven't had time. I'm like, bro, we've been playing Fortnite together every night. I think you better watch this, man. Anyway, so yeah, when the bots first came out, they weren't that good. So the technology finally caught up. When I took a look at this, I did something similar to Jeff. I wanted to know who's behind this. And then when he talked about Brian Benson, I'd never heard of Brian Benson, but I've used Binance for many, many years. Everyone knows who's done a little bit with crypto knows Binance. So then I started down the rabbit hole and I started researching this guy and his vision and followed all the socials. I got in straight away. I got in on day one. I went, this is something different. I want to be in on this and I'm going to test it out for myself. Within 2 days, I was sharing it and put my mum on, and that's I'd done enough due diligence to go, this is what I've been waiting for the last few years, for the technology to catch up, for the leadership and the people behind the company to be credible. Because a lot of these bots, they don't even have anyone there. There's literally just an AI face. There's no one behind the company. So to have a CEO facing the public who's had got the runs on the board from Binance already and seeing his vision and passion, I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. So that's it. We just started, I just ran with it and it's been an unbelievable 4 weeks. I can tell you, I shared it with Kara. She's sort of similar sort of thing, fell in love with it like I did. And it's just been rank after rank and helping people rank up. And this is what I really love about this business is the coaching and the meeting people and learning and helping them and getting through all the questions from them. If you don't know the answers, okay, great. Let's work that out together. That's one of my favorite parts of the business. So yeah, and today Jeff actually there's a little Telegram notification bot which we see all. It's quite clever. See all the our organization, all the profits that are coming in from the bots and things like that, and it'll also tell you if you've got a rank up. But I didn't even see it. Jeff rang me. He's like, "Mate, you just hit Nexus." So needless to say, today is a pretty special day, and I actually qualified for a trip over to the US for a 2-day training course and a boat trip with the CEO Josh. So in April, so I'm very, very excited about that.
Yeah, no, we've got a big trip coming up here for those of you who hit Nexus before February 24th or Oracle by March 30. You can qualify to come to Miami with us and get into the $1 Million Mindset Mastermind cruise that we're going to host here. And Dale was the very first in our team to qualify for that. So well done, Dale. Absolute amazing job. I know Kara's nipping at the heels, though. She's coming for you, mate.
I know.
Yeah, I see you. So thank you, Dale. Absolute pleasure. Mate, love building this business with you. Love building this business with everybody in our team. So let's do this. Let's go to gallery concept now here and, open it up for Q&A. We're going to spend probably the next 10 to 15 minutes. I want to give you guys about 15 minutes back of your time. So by 6:45 Sydney time, we're going to close the call. So let's just open it up. We've got open mic here. Let me give you the option to be able to turn your microphone on so you can if you need to, or you can use the comments if you're shy. But if you've got any burning questions, what I want you to do is either unmute yourself or put your hand up. You should be able to use the reactions there to be able to put your hand up, something like this, so I can raise my hand and we'll be able to, bring you out and you can ask your questions. So if anybody's got any questions, please let us know. Leah, I can see you got your hand up there. How are you, champion?
Hey, I wanted some clarification around the multiple bots. Is that multiple bots in your own name for you. Yeah, can you expand a little bit on that for me? And then I have a second question as well.
Cool. So I'll get Dale to jump in here as well, because there is a wealth creation strategy for why you want to do that under the one account. But the example that I was sharing there with it's actually Dale's strategy, so I'll give him credit for it. It's actually what we're calling the family pack strategy. So that's multiple accounts. Now, to have multiple accounts, you need a separate email and a separate mobile for each account. And that's space. So if you're wanting to play the comp plan game here, the idea is to go deep with the comp plan and to hit the first rank of Voyager. You know, one of the strategies that we ask out, and doing this if you can, right? You get in where you fit in. So if this is out of reach, that's cool. You do what you got to do. But you start with the top account here, and then you can put, you know, basically the rank up volume is below the main account. So your main account doesn't count for the rank up. That'll count for me, that'll count for Dale, or it'll count for Kara. But the below you needs to be your volume below that main account for you to rank up. So one of the ways that I did it was to hit Voyager was I put my wife's position underneath my position, and I funded her bot, which pushed me up to Voyager straight away. Now, if you can do that, you can spread the load a bit, and you got to have 3 legs going all the way down anyway. So you can spread the load and share the love there, and that'll help you to push that volume up to get to, you know, Voyager to Vanguard. So that's a strategy to use the 3x3 strategy. And so, Dale, let's come back out. You know, why would we want to have just the one account with, you know, multiple bots, as we saw on that slide there? You know, I know that there's some wealth creation strategies around why you would want to do that, but I'll let you explain that, Dale.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Jeff mentioned in the beginning, you're staking your contract, your crypto for 12 months. So a lot of people who may not be familiar with staking, just bring it back to the traditional banking system, is you have a term deposit for 12 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have multiple term deposits that are starting at different times. So when that term is mature, then you can do what you like. You can pull that out and put it somewhere else. You can reinvest in another term. So that's one reason why you'd have multiple contracts. And then also, like Jeff talked about, you can have multiple contracts, have some of them compounding and some of them not compounding. So obviously your fastest way to create wealth is to compound your money. But then if you want to use your profits to pay for your living expenses, like I do, I don't even bring them back to my bank account. I just got a crypto debit card. So my profits go straight on the crypto debit card to pay for my fuel, groceries, everything like that. Have been for years. So that's the reason why you'd have multiple contracts on the one account. Does that make sense, Lee?
Yeah, because I understand the family side of things where it's you and then 3 people in your family. But it was when that screen came up that there was 4 different accounts. I was like, okay, are they in all that person's name or are they in different names?
Yeah.
So that's all in the one name.
That's one. Yeah. So that's 2 reasons there to have multiple start and finish dates for your contracts. The other reason is that you can only have a maximum of $100,000 in per contract per trading bot. So first world problem, I know, but we have had that question of why only 100,000?
Okay, so I can have multiple ones in my name, and I can also structure the family.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, there's $12 million in venture capitalists that invested with this when they very first started, right? So they would have multiple accounts and multiple bots to be able to facilitate that conversation.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps to create some clarity around that. But yeah, as Daryl said, and such a terrible problem to have, right? First world problems.
Excellent. Thank you. The second
you,
question was around the Freedom Pro suite. Is that something to ask now?
Yeah, no, I'm going to pass that conversation off to another conversation because I want to just keep this to respect just to entirely Aurum around Aurum tonight.
Sure.
That's okay.
Thank you.
But just for everybody who just to give you a 10,000-foot view, Josh Feltz is the CEO of Freedom Pro, and I am the Vice President of Field Development and Growth as part of his corporate team. We saw this bot. We actually tried to bring this whole product and white label it into the Freedom Pro ecosystem. That's how much we loved it. But Mr. Brian Benson said, why would I want to do that? A bank offered me to pay for all of this and blah, blah, blah. So I don't need, to white label it. I'm already up and running. We've already got, multiple millions of dollars going in this space. So Josh, put his ego aside and said, well, this is such an amazing product for our community here with Freedom Pro. Let's go build the passive income stream with it anyway as affiliates. So, Josh is a CEO. He doesn't need to do this. but he saw it as a way for our community to get up and run and win with this, and also to help us to bring in our new community, to then, maybe look it down the road and play strategy here and introduce them to our Freedom Pro ecosystem and all that sort of thing. So there is a lot of strategy here behind what we're doing here with this whole conversation. Basically, what I'm going to call and this is why we call this the wealth creation ecosystem, right? So we've got basically a triangle here. Our products here that we have with Mindset Pro with Dr. Joseph McClendon, that's going to be our foundation for our mindset and our personal development. We've got our wealth building arm here with Aurum, and there are other products there as well that we'll keep for respect to this conversation. We'll just focus in on Aurum tonight. Cool. Mark, I see you got your hand up there.
G'day, Jeff. How you going?
Good, Mark. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks, mate. Congratulations to you, Dale, as well, mate, on the rank
Yes, well done, Dale.
Also, yeah, so just in regards to once you put in your initial deposit, can down the track, once you come to a bit of money or end of tax time, can you then add to that deposit as well?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, so I started with a $500 deposit. And, as you rank up for the compensation plan, you need to actually have a higher personal contribution to be able to qualify for the next rank. It's actually quite smart in the way that they've done it, right? So for me to hit my next rank, it's actually a $10,000 bonus, but I need to make sure I've got at least $6,000 on my personal contribution. Now I'm up to about $3,500, so I can take some of that bonus money to qualify for the next rank, and then I can pocket the rest. Now, every time you put in a new deposit into the bot, it starts its own 365-day clock, right? So I actually went and I should have took a screenshot out. On the 10th day of last month, I pushed on the button that had withdrawal. It came up with a screenshot of the times and dates when the 12-month mark was released. So my original deposit and then my next deposit and my next deposit and so forth. And so it gave you a countdown for each deposit. So it starts a new clock every time you put in a new amount. But yeah, you could put $10,000 in today, come along, get very excited about this in 3 months, and then go put 100,000 in or whatever it is that you want to do, those type of amounts. But yes, every time you put in a new deposit, it starts this new clock, and then, away we go. Now, the accumulated profits also have its 12-month limit. Yes. Everything. So like if you're doing the daily accumulation of the compounding, right, what'll happen is those amounts will get released day after day after day after day after the 12-month clock. So yes, they all have their own 12-month clock.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. And also just quickly on the dashboard in the system, can you just explain what you see? Do you see weekly, daily returns? Like what sort of transparency is there with what returns are coming in on your account?
Daily. So you'll see your daily returns. So like I've got about $3,000 on my bot currently, and it's averaging anywhere from $20 to $17 per day, and it's accumulating and it's building up on that space in that one, and it's daily. So the 10 to 17% per month is an accumulation of 0.3, 0.7, 1%, whatever it is per day, and that's the accumulation of that for the month.
Perfect.
Yep, and you see all that in your back dashboard. Yeah, you can see all those analytics.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
That's right, Mark. Great questions. Thank you. Guys, there are no silly questions. The silly question that get asked is the one that doesn't get asked. We've probably got about 2 more minutes for one more question. If anybody's got any burning questions, going once, going twice. What else? What questions we've got in the chat there? Can you turn the compounding on and off? Multiple times if you want to, yes. So I know some people, what they're doing right is they're keeping the compounding reinvest button turned on for 3 months, for example, turn it off on the 4th month, withdraw the profits of that 4th month, turn it back on for another 3 months. So there are multiple ways that you can play with this, with your own wealth creation strategy. But you can turn it off multiple times a day if you really wanted to. It's just a switch, like a light switch. All right. I like the idea of turning it on and not have to worry about it because my ADHD gets in the way and I start forgetting things. Yes, Leah, one more question, probably the last question for tonight.
I just saw Elizabeth's question. Do we have to withdraw the funds after 12 months? And that made me think of $100,000 cap as well.
Yeah, so it's a $100,000 deposit cap.
Right.
Obviously, that bot can keep going.
Okay, so after the 12 months.
So you don't have to withdraw it after 12 months. Yeah, they've got a profit calculator in the back office there where you can play around with. I'm not going to show that tonight, but you can go do, 1 year, 2 year, 4 years, all that sort of thing, and play around with the profit calculators. All right, so One final question. So did I hear correctly? Compounding interest cannot be drawn at 12 months. It's released over the following year. I'm not sure I understand that question. Dale or Kara, do you want to jump in and answer Mark's question there? When you flick the switch and withdraw the profits after 4 months compounding, do you attract the 35% fee? No, you only retract the 35% fee if you tried to withdraw your principal amount within that 12 months. Tax question. I can't answer any tax questions, guys. I am not a tax agent. Please go to your accountant or your tax agent to get any answers on tax questions. I'm not even going to go there because I'm not a specialist tax advisor. Mark.
Mate, last question, just in regards to people that are foreign to, I guess, crypto and exchanges and wallets, members of the team can assist with those sort of avenues and onboarding.
Yeah, great question. So we host 2 power hour calls a day is what we call them. And the link is www.fundyourbot.com. And so if you're completely new to this space, our community of leaders are hosting this call 2 times a day. I'm going to give you Sydney times off the top of my head because normally they're advertised as New York. They're 7 a.m. Sydney time and 2 p.m. Sydney time. Now, if you can't make them due to work commitments or whatever, reach out to your team leader or your sponsor. We'll jump on, we'll run an inner circle community call. We'll do whatever it takes to be able to help support that conversation. We've got a lot of crypto newbies coming into this space because, as you can see, it's a low risk sort of conversation to get started. And and a high reward subset. So it's very attractive to people in the new space into the crypto market for sure.
Thanks, Jeff. Cheers, mate.
I'll just sorry, Mark, was there anything else? Yeah, I'll just go through a couple of quick questions there. Yes, the bot works 7 days a week. The crypto market's open 24/7. You can use any wallet for funding, MetaMask, any centralized wallet, decentralized
Trust wallet, yeah.
Which crypto credit card do you? There's no credit card; it's a debit card. But do you recommend? Like I've been using Wirex for years. I've had a few different crypto debit cards over the years. Aurum has just released their own, so I've just ordered my Aurum card, which has got $100,000 a month limit.
Yeah. Freedom Pro is about to release their own too, which has a $400,000 limit and no transaction fees and all that sort of thing. So there are plenty of cards coming on the marketplace.
Yeah. And then back to the onboarding too. The team are legends. This is pretty much brand new for us, but in the last few weeks they've put together an incredible onboarding tool, which gives
let me get you that.
The introduction video for starters, and then page 2 has a step-by-step guide. Okay, open your account, get your crypto wallet set up, fund your account, transfer it here, step by step by step. So it's really, really well laid out. But yeah, we're all coaches here, so we can help you with any of those sort of steps, and also any questions we don't get to, of course, just reach out. I'm more than happy to answer them.
Yeah. And I didn't say it during the presentation, and it's just a good reminder. Please reach out to the person who invited you to this call. They could either connect you with one of our key leaders here and put us into a group chat and be able to support you on that space. But I want to be respectful to the ecosystem here. Please do make sure that you reach out to the person who invited you. I did just put in our funnel that our team built there. It's called www.aiwealthsecret.io. There's basically a video sales letter page there on the front end. But if you go to page 2, without giving you a code, it's not going to allow you to sign up. You'll need to reach out to the person who invited you to get their affiliate code. But it will give you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 steps, to get onboarded and get you set up. But once again, if this is a completely foreign language to you, because I remember when it was the first time I jumped in, it was like, hang on, I feel like I'm on an alien planet here. We've got you covered with our power hour calls. I know Leah's been on a few there. Daz has always showed up, onto the calls. We've got Sarah, we've got Liz. We've got an amazing team here. Our Freedom Pro community is putting all of our resources and all of our ecosystem behind this. There's a reason why we've got 1,000 people who have joined this team in the first month. There's a reason why we will take this 1,000 to the next 10,000 and within the next 2 to 3 months. We are smashing and breaking records. Our CEO, Josh Feltz with Freedom Pro, has a close connection with Brian Benson. He's actually been invited to be on the council of Aurum, as that part. So we've got some pretty big powerhouses behind this. We've got some pretty big resources behind this. And it's our time to go. It's your time to plug in, and let's go do this together. All right. So reach out to the person who invited you, Kara and Dale and Dave. Thank you very much for putting this amazing meeting together. I believe we had 47 people at the top of the count. It's been an amazing. Next week, I want 100 people here. And Dale, before we go, mate, I can't remember, were we going to run like a little incentive or anything like that for our beautiful people here? I'm actually going to pick out a name at random, and I want to help. Actually, let's do this. If you're new here, you haven't even got set up yet, I want you to drop a 1 in the comments for me. I'm going to pick a number, and I am personally going to put $200 of my own back pocket money, here into your wallet here for just saying thank you. Like, I want to create a community here of generosity. I want to create a leaders of here, with time, talents, and treasures in this space. So drop a 1 in there if you're new here, you're just getting set up, you probably haven't funded your bot yet, and you're ready to rock and roll. I'm going to pick a number at random here. So I'm going to look at here. We have Shay Bonnell. Congratulations. I'm going to get you a $200 USDT to load up into your wallet. Thank you very much for showing up for today's call. Shay Bonnell. Who are you connected with, Shay? Who brought you to this conversation today? What I'm going to do is give you my details. Reach out to me personally. If you're not set up with Aurum yet, we'll get you set up with Aurum, and let's get you plugged in. And I will, once you've got the Aurum account set up, I can then do an instant transfer from my Aurum wallet to your Aurum wallet, and I'll put 200 USDT into your wallet.
Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that.
Congratulations, Shay.
Thank
I'm
you.
just going to give you my mobile number too, as well, just to help you out with that so you can stay connected. So Shay, well, congratulations. Are you new to this community? Like, how long have you been with us for?
Yeah, no, this is my first call, and I was only introduced to Aurum 3 days ago.
Awesome. Okay. Well, with this $200 is basically enough to get you started, and welcome to the community.
Thank you so much. So grateful.
All right. So there's my mobile number. There's my email number. Please make sure you take those details. Send me a text message when you're in. And also, please let me know who introduced you to this conversation so I can bring them into the conversation too, out of respect to that.
Will do. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Shay. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much. That is a wrap. That is an amazing call. Really appreciate you all. Well done and congratulations. And if you're new here, welcome. I look forward to seeing you on one of our many training calls. And thank you very much for coming along tonight. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.